Now from the Weather Tracker TV Storm Studios, this is your weather today. Here's Chief Meteorologist William Cole.
All right, folks, here we go. Right out of the gate on this TGIF Friday. Of course, typically one of the better days of the entire work week, coasting on into the weekend. It's going to be hot out there today. No surprise on that. But I tell you what, heading into the weekend, it's going to be hotter, right? We're going to add an ER onto that, hotter heading into the weekend, and we're going to have heat index values that go back into the extreme category. We're going to talk about that coming up. But for today, it's another day where the air temperature holds down by a few degrees, right up around 95, 96 here in the Metroplex. And so the heat index value has come down from above 110 that we've seen over the last several days. Similar to yesterday, the way it looks right now, it's going to hold around 105 or maybe just below that. So maybe a little bit of good news, but again, it's just a 1 or 2 day deal. But again, as we go through the afternoon, 20% opportunity of a couple thunderstorms around, but the opportunity of rain and storms as we get into the late this evening into tonight here in the Metroplex, I do think is going up. And we may even have one more round of severe weather with that as well. Again, we'll talk about that as well coming up. But here we go. Heat advisories for today, similar to yesterday. They've been trimmed a little bit further down to the south. Do not let this mislead you, right? As we go through this afternoon, the heat index values of 105 or above are mainly going to be confined down to the south, right? Because our air temperatures have come down just a few degrees. But beginning tomorrow, through the weekend, through essentially all of next week, our air temperatures are going to go back to or above 100. And again, as that happens, it's also going to allow those heat index values to, again, push back up. And because of that, I'm worried that we're actually going to have another excessive heat warning issued for the area. And again, that could be prolonged into part of next week. So with the air temperatures going up, your heat index values next week are going to soar as well. Now, at some point in time, I think as we go through next week, we're going to begin to mix down some of this really excessive moisture that we're dealing with. So even though next week the air temperatures may be up near record high levels, our feels like numbers eventually at some point will begin to kind of ease down, so to speak. But that is not in the forecast today, and that is not in the forecast through the weekend. In fact, looking at the dew point numbers here, you can see generally around the area, we're at 70 or above. 70 or above is pretty muggy, pretty sticky. You start getting above 75, that's tropical. And again, you can see several locations there pushing above 75. Again, that's where that heat index number comes from. It factors in the air temperature along with the humidity. And again, that's what it really feels like to your body. Of course, anything over 105, you get in the danger zone. Over 110, you get to the extreme category. And obviously, that's where the concern now is, right, heading into the weekend. So you can see the donut hole. That's our area of high pressure, the summer heat dome. It's been centered across parts of Mexico over the last couple of weeks. That's going to continue to build in over the next several days. And even though we have one more opportunity of rain, storms today, more so tonight, I think after that, as the summer heat dome really builds in, I think even the opportunity of rain will begin to turn off as well. So we've been watching a few thunderstorms out of our far northwestern counties. A few of those have pulsed up to at least heavy levels as we've gone through the morning. I think a lot of this activity dries up. We'll watch it as we go through the day, but I think more so as we get into tonight, rainstorms fire along a dry line in West Texas, and that will turn into a complex of storms moving across the area as we go through the overnight. I'll show you that on the model coming up. But because of that concern of a complex of storms coming in overnight, the Storm Prediction Center, they've drawn up this map here with more red, right? This has been expanded east as we've gone through the morning. And again, it's not so much this afternoon, but do keep in mind any storm that would form this afternoon could be severe with a hail and a wind threat. But again, this is going to be more so for tonight. Tomorrow we begin to taper off the rain chances, and even the opportunity of severe weather tomorrow is on the downward trend. So pretty quiet today. Again, a rogue storm or two. Again, we just can't rule that out. It's about a 20% opportunity. And then overnight tonight, here comes that complex out of the west. And again, you can see after midnight moving through the Metroplex, could be some wind with that. Wind up around 60 miles per hour. Severe wind, we'll track that carefully. 90s to right around 100 today. Your heat index values this afternoon, again, pushing 105. Rain opportunity through the afternoon hours. Again, we'll keep it right around 20%. Even for any kind of early evening plans, it'll be hot, but only a 20% opportunity. Again, I think it's about 40-50% as we go through the overnight. Overnight lows 60s, a few 70s around the area. And then tomorrow, there it is. Air temperatures taking back off well into, well, the 100s around the area. And again, we also begin to dry things out. Feels like numbers kicking in.